Welcome everybody to Carriageworks Farmers Market's SMEG Chef Cook demonstration. We're actually christening today the new Smegopod, the gastropod built entirely for this moment, the first Saturday of every month by SMEG. And we've actually been quite smegged in this corner. Luckily, we have everything at our fingertips, ready to go. We also have a chef who is so hands-on, he's probably not even going to use any. Please, everybody, meet Darren Robertson. You may have seen him on the telly. You may have eaten at his Three Blue Ducks restaurants or his new restaurant Rocker in Bondi. You may have been to the farm in Byron Bay and had the coffee and the beautiful food at the Three Blue Ducks in Byron Bay. Or you may have just stalked him for several years, like many people. We're lucky to have him today, and he's the perfect chef to start off this beautiful SMEG series, because unlike a lot of chefs who would have turned up this morning with with 3 apprentices and a bunch of little plastic boxes filled with chopped food and a recipe, he wandered in on time almost, and we said, "What are you going to cook for us?" And he said, "I have no idea." And so we went for a walk along all the stalls and the growers. We had a chat to them all. We heard their stories, and Darren just picked up what he wanted to cook with and came back here. And I thought, "Oh, that's fantastic. Now what are you going to cook?" And he said, "I still have no idea." So, and then suddenly I turned around and there's beautiful food here. So if that isn't inspiring you as home cooks in just that one way, then this is what the market is all about. This is why you don't bring a shopping list to a farmer's market. You come to see what they have and you put it together, and Darren's going to give us heaps of tips about how to do that tonight and tomorrow with what you buy right here. He's one of those chefs who's done a U-turn in his life. He learned at a very high level, Michelin star level, came and was head chef at Tetsuya's in Sydney for years, and then went, "You know what? I want to cook real food. I want to be connected back to the land, the growers, the produce." And in many ways, your food has never been better as a result, because it's real. And listen to what this guy says, because he can't help it. If he picks up a piece of sweet corn, he'll tell you 3 things to do with it, and there will be absolutely nothing left of that corn at the end of it, including the husks, including the cob. You will know what to do with it. Darren, I'm going to throw it to you because you are clearly in control and you know exactly what you're about to cook for us, don't you? Welcome to Darren, please.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out this visual day. And thank you to Jill for those kind words. It's really, really clear. It adds to the pressure of doing a demonstration in front of Jill in favour. Thank you. The first one was lovely. So I live in Byron. I've got a couple of restaurants called the Ducks and Rocker. And and to be honest, as Jill says, this is for chefs. This is our, it's probably the most exciting time and opportunity to come out and see what is growing, what's in season, and meet the producers. So we do go to a lot of farmers markets up in Byron, but when we're in Sydney, certainly we make the effort to come here, because we're very fortunate to have this on our doorstep in Sydney. And I rocked up today, and like we usually would say on a Tuesday up in Byron, just walk around the market with the little monster and grab a couple of coffees and just fill the bag with what's around. So with here, you've probably all been around. For those of you that haven't, there's a whole plethora of amazing sort of colours and smells and tastes going on. I just ran the basket with some. We had some dairy products, some milk from Labna, the bread and butter project, we've got some loaves of bread, and then zucchinis, baby radishes, garlic, beets, herbs, lemons, there's all sorts of stuff. So I've decided to cook some bruschetta, which is a nice sort of crunchy dish to showcase what we have. And to
Would you really like him to come up and help?
Sorry, poor little Archie. And then we're gonna take some milk. So we've got some unhomogenized milk from who's the producer?
Line.
I've just got system. The Pines, which
up
is
here on the
which is
left.
absolutely. I drink a lot of milk. I actually prefer a glass of milk after service than a beer, which is a bit weird.
Weird.
It is weird, but so these guys are selling milk, and they're also making gelatos out of the milk as well. So we'll be back there with Archie if you can sell after this demonstration. So we're going to make some ricotta. For those of you, has anyone made ricotta? Just a show of hands at home. That's right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it is.
about 3.
Yeah, it's milk's something that we always have in the fridge. There's nothing here that's really sort of hard to get your hands on. So we're going to make some of that, toast up some bread, and do a little salad to go with our bruschetta, and yeah, hopefully it'll go okay. So
That list of produce you went through, you could pretty much tell what week it was in the year, certainly what month it was in the year, just by saying figs, zucchini, pecan squash, all those new potatoes, all those beautiful things. We are definitely in the first week of February, and that's the best thing about going to a market. It's different every time.
yeah, absolutely. And so it really, I like that challenge. Yeah, it's quite inspiring using different. You know, we get so used to. Well, there was this sort of notion of having everything all year round, and the sort of loss of seasonality, but it's definitely coming back now, and we are embracing what's in season now, what's around, and there's no better way to do it than actually, you know, coming to a place like this and talking to the producer and seeing what they do with it and how they cook it for their families. Like, you always pick up little bits and pieces. Okay, so I'm going to make some ricotta quickly. So bring up some milk to about 85 degrees just before it reaches a boil, and then you're going to split that milk with an acid. So for today we have some, these are actually lemons, but they're underripe. They're actually really juicy. So we're going to...
Yeah, the growers called them lemons with an identity crisis. And they had to actually, this is the reality of farming, they had to take them off the tree while still green and really beautifully sharp because of the rain. So that's the farming side of it. Note Darren's incredibly technical use of a strainer and temperature gauge, which is the little finger.
Yeah, use the little finger, just, you know, Alright, cool. So a lemon, maybe a lemon and a half, depending on how much juice. Give it a little stir, and it will just start to separate. And it will look like it's kind of going wrong, but it's actually exactly what you're after. If you don't have lemons or limes or grapefruits, obviously you can use some apple cider vinegar or any vinegar for that matter. For those of you that make kombucha at home, a kombucha that's kind of gone over will turn into vinegar. You can use that as well for not only dressings and vinaigrettes, but to split your ricotta, which I'm sure all of you are going to go home and do this afternoon to impress the loved one. Alright, so it's starting to split. I know you guys can't see, but if you, because there's not much, but that's kind of how it looks.
It almost looks like a junket. It's got curds now
See that?
separating from the whey.
Yeah. So we're just going to leave that now to kind of, we'll just leave it on a slow heat for a little bit just to do its things. I think we can get more yield out of it. And that's it. And so then we're going to strain that. And the curds will be what we know as ricotta, and then we'll have the whey as well, which also has lots of uses. So we can use that in baking as a vegetarian stock to make risottos. But in this case, we're actually going to cook these amazing little potatoes. So these are baby potatoes. I think they're Sebagos. From Russell, the good garlic guy.
Yeah, Russell, the garlic guy up there on the right.
We've also got his garlic as well, which is amazing. And we're going to cut these thinly and kind of poach them in our way with a little bit of garlic, some of the whey itself, salt, pepper, and olive oil. And we're going to pop that on top of our bruschetta.
That's a beautiful idea. He was telling us the story, Russell, of how he grows his potatoes, and he does it under seaweed. So it's he gets incredible nutrients from that seaweed as well as flavour. And these tiny little potatoes are the very, very early, the start of the season. And he said, seriously, don't eat more than 3 or 4, because I bought a bag for tonight, and he said they're so dense with nutrients that you really don't need to eat anymore. And I sort of thought, well, need has got very little to do with it. Want has got a lot more to do with it. I'll probably eat 20 tonight, and I'll let you know what happens.
Yeah, so...
they are amazing.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
So rich.
And I'm just going to... like only just cook them. So they've actually still got, I used to do this, so there was a dish, actually Tess, we used to do a freshwater crayfish and asparagus and potato. And from the UK, we was used to like cooking potatoes until they're really soft and creamy and quite mushy, but quite a sort of Japanese technique where you do leave a little bit of bite. It's really, really interesting. It's like an interesting texture. So I'm just going to leave them a little bit under as well, not so they're raw, but just so I want to keep the characteristics because they're quite, it's quite, I've never had a potato that's been grown in seaweed before, so I want to kind of alright, cool. So I'm going to ideally leave this for about 5-10 minutes and just let it do its thing, just cool down, but we're just going to strain them off. So I strain them into a little pot, like so.
So do you actually, I know that the lemon juice is the acid that sours the milk that makes it separate, but does it give an actual flavour to the curd? Like, is it slightly sour like yogurt?
Yeah, I mean, you only, like the amount you use, you'll just taste it as like a background flavour. It won't be acidulated, but I actually do like it. I like lemon juice. I like salt and garlic, so I actually like being a bit heavy-handed with it. Alright, so at this point I'm going to make my toast. So we've got some of the Bread and Butter Project bread. You could use the toaster, of course, but I'm going to toast it up in a little pan.
The Bread and Butter Project are just behind us over there. It's a fantastic initiative in which the bakery has been set up as a training centre for refugees to Australia to learn a skill and just help them settle in and help their families settle in here. And of course the end result is we get beautiful bread and we get a whole new bunch of beautiful bakers every single year as well that then go out into the world. So it's sort of win-win. Also it's amazing because it's one of the best breads that you can eat in Sydney right now. It's so dense.
So in the pan with a little bit of olive oil, some garlic, and pop some of our garlic in with our cutaway and spuds. And whilst that's kind of doing its thing, I'm going to make a little salad. So we have this gorgeous little leaf. So this is red oak. And we'll just take these whole leaves off. And this is because it's quite a rich, creamy, because we've got potatoes and ricotta, and I've got some pecorino on the bruschetta as well. I want like quite a sharp little, kind of acidic salad to go with this. So I'll give these leaves a little bit of a rinse.
Are they, you got those from Salads Direct, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. So Salads Direct is down there on the left, and Jason, who runs the farm and grows all these beautiful leaves, he sells out pretty quickly, so if you want something like this, race up there. But he has a 5-hour drive coming up the south coast to Sydney for the Carriage Works farmers markets, and he says on a good day that gives him time for a surf on the way through. And I think, yeah mate, you've got your life sorted.
Very, very, very important. It looks like a picture of health.
He does.
Alright, so here I'm just going to throw bits and pieces that we picked up. So I have some parsley, I'll pick in some mint leaves, and we go through a lot of herbs at the Ducks. So obviously there's a large amount of stalks, but we do try and use every leaf that's grown on the farm for us environment, and also we try and use all the stuff that we would generally usually discard, like the stalks and skins and peels and stuff. So with the stalks, a good little tip, certainly for mint, if you blanch them for just under a minute and then dry them out, you whiz them up with oil and you get this beautiful vibrant green mint oil. If you don't blanch them, they tend to oxidize, just like it works with basil as well and rosemary, but yeah, just by blanching them, eradicates that oxidization, so you get that beautiful fibre. It's amazing.
Can you dehydrate them just in a slow oven? You mean
Yeah,
overnight?
actually we do. So we've
or
got
do you need a
yeah, we've got a couple of
dehydrator?
dehydrators that you can get on eBay for about $80. But yeah, just pilot light. So we turn the oven on 5 minutes, stick it on pilot, and we just have trays of like all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that's only the first tip.
I told Darren he had to give us at least 10 tips in 30 minutes, so, well, I think he's probably given us 2, maybe 3.
Some rocket, so I love rocket. Nice and peppery, a little bit of spice. And these little baby breakfast radishes.
I love how you're eating everything as you go.
Well, that's the thing, and it kind of all changes. You're trying to, when I'm sort of cooking, I just try and change and taste everything, much to the annoyance of, I suppose, people that watch it, but you just build up a picture of how it tasted. Is it sweet? You know, everything's different all the time. So like these are, you know, really quite sharp. So it's going to need a bit of sweetness here. Like I'll chuck in a bit more cheese, or maybe so I've got some figs, and that'd be really nice. So you're just kind of like building this picture of how it's going to taste, as opposed to just chucking it all together and then tasting it in the end and going, oh, nice, cool. You know, which I've done before.
Or just blindly following a recipe. Not that we have anything against recipes and cookbooks, we love them, but what a beautiful thing. Just use the recipe as a guide and then be really guided by the nature of the taste of your produce.
Yeah. So these you can use, well, I mean, we poach these in butter with a bit of miso and serve these as a side, but they're lovely just raw, just cut up, really crispy.
They look gorgeous. Where did you get them, do you remember? Was it Carajong?
So it's
Carajong Organics, the one on the...
Yes.
Yeah, the one right down the end on the right. They're amazing.
And try and use the leaves as well. And if you've got an abundance of them, obviously you can pickle or ferment these, either on a vinegar or to go kind of old school Sandor cat style, 5% salt solution. That's probably a bit early for it. No, 5% salt solution, pop them in a jar, leave it room temperature sealed, and every day release the gas from the jar, and they'll slowly start to ferment. Pick them out, and once they taste kind of to your likings, they'll create like a bit of fizz, like a sauerkraut. Pop them in the fridge, and then they'll keep forever. Throw them in salads. Amazing.
Any questions for Darren as he's going along? Anyone want to ask anything?
Has anyone been up to Three Blue Ducks in Byron at all? Up to the farm?
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay. So just a bit of background for those of you who don't. So we have a restaurant on an 86-acre farm in Byron Bay, and on that farm there's about 7 or 8 full-time farmers. We have about 400 chooks, so we get the pasture-raised eggs. There's cows and there's pigs, and there's about 14 acres of market garden fruits and veggies. And we're getting stuff not dissimilar to stuff like here. We get lots of radishes, eggplant, corn at the moment, leafy greens, and yeah, we try and. The objective for us as cooks is to try and use every leaf that comes off that farm. So we're incredibly lucky up there. So it's 3 years old, but it's also nice for the public to come along and eat what they're serving, but get the chance to chat to the guys that are growing it as well. Not dissimilar to this setup, yeah. I imagine.
And you can actually have a chat to the pigs and the chooks, and it's really quite
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Go around and it's cool. It's sort of everything for everyone. Let the kids run around, dogs, hipsters, tourists.
You were talking about using everything, and you mentioned sweet corn. Can you just tell us what you do at Three Blue Ducks with a corn cob?
Oh yeah, so at the moment, yeah, the thing that is interesting is it's just trying to find new ways to use the whole ingredient. There was a huge movement spurred by a British hero like Fergus Henderson, and it was called nose to tail. So you'd use to respect the animal, you'd use the tail right through to the ears and the snout. And so globally now, as a chefs, we're trying to find new ways to use byproducts, things that we'd usually discard. So because there's loads of corn around at the moment, and we're getting loads from the farm, and usually we'd peel the leaves off, put them in the bin, take off the corn itself, and then throw the cob in the bin, or give it to the chickens, which they adore. But now we worked on new ways to use these as flavours and food. So the leaves, if you go eat yourself some corn today, you can take the leaves off and wrap proteins in it. So you can wrap fish, maybe with some curry paste or salsas and stuff, bake them, and they impart the flavour and they encapsulate all the juices, which is really, really nice. Also, you can take those and char them up, so you char them so they're quite golden brown, and then once they're dry, you blitz them up. Probably one of those things, sort of spice grinder. And then they take on this wonderful kind of coffee chocolate aroma that you can use to flavour whatever you like. So in our case, we do like a corn dessert, and we'll make a chocolate cookie using this powder. The corn we use for a savoury dish with a spanner crab, but then the cobs that have got no corn on them, we steep them in cream and milk, and we make ice cream out of the corn. And it's amazing, like it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a nice golden colour, and it's really cool. So
there is so much flavour just in the cob. So if you are getting corn and you take the kernels off to use separately, if you don't want to do that and make ice cream, just cover them in water, a bit of salt, and just make yourself a sweet corn stock for a soup or whatever, and it's so sweet and beautiful and light.
Yeah. So I've got our salad. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces going on. The zucchini, those little radishes. I'm just going to dress that in some of our remaining lemon juice. There you go. Ah, there's one lemon, not for that. I was going to have to send one of you out to go and get a lemon.
Gee.
So I'll whiz that. And you can put kind of whatever you like in it. Some of our Alton salts.
Beautiful Australian product from South
Lovely,
Australia.
yeah. And you know, Alex is she's doing a lot of good stuff, collaborations and events, and
Very good.
heaps of pepper. And then I'm going to take my fig. So figs, obviously, we really need to get amongst figs because the season's so short. They are an absolute delight. You know, you can bake them, do all sorts with them. But
I love that you're using it in a more savoury way with fig, rather than just, oh, it's a piece of fruit, it must be dessert. They're so beautiful with leaves.
Give it a little taste. And I'm just going to arrange our little salad. There's probably enough.
Any questions at this juncture? Making a rather beautiful salad that none of you can see because it's lurking
well,
behind.
you can come up afterwards. If,
yeah, exactly. Just pop up and have a look.
Yeah, if you want to have a little try or
when we've
have
finished.
a little afterwards, then all good. All right,
so your dressing is just lemon juice and olive oil?
Yes.
I missed that.
Yeah, that's it. Really
you could have
simple,
put a bit of whey in it.
Oh, to let down? Yeah, you could. Or you could sweeten up with honey, different vinegars, all sorts of stuff.
Very colourful.
So these have been grown in seaweed. We actually use a lot of seaweed to flavour vinegars as well. So I got this from Brett. Take kelp and char it up, and then steep that in vinegars like you would kelp in Japanese kitchens, and it's amazing. Like it really imparts a lot of flavour.
I think you're up to about 8 on the tip score.
Really?
Yep, doing quite well, but we need 2 more in about 5 minutes. I'll give you a tip. If you've got another 5 or 10 minutes, do not miss Katharina Grossi's incredible art installation across the road. You can just walk in those glass doors down the end and then peer in through what looks like hanging bed sheets and go inside, and it will blow your mind. The colours are extraordinary. Of 80,000 metres of canvas that she spray painted with a team of 8 girls walking behind her holding the paint, and she's just spraying marvellous psychedelia all over the place. And the transformation of that beautiful raw rustic industrial interior of Carriageworks against this extraordinary colour, almost like your salad here, is really worth seeing.
So I'm spooning some ricotta on our spuds.
I'll count that as one of your tips, okay?
A little bit of olive oil, so it's with the potato, ricotta, olive oil, and we have some garlic in there. And then I'm just going to spoon that on some shaved zucchini on our toast.
If you're cooking in February, you will be cooking with zucchini, let's face it. And petit pan squash. any of those squash. They're just so good at the moment. Anyone who's growing them will know what I mean. They're virtually coming up and knocking on the window from the plant outside at the moment, saying, "Cook me, cook me."
A little bit of basil.
It's actually quite inspiring, isn't it, just to walk along there and just go, I'm only going to buy my food this weekend from this market.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And it does force you to, certainly for us, just to try new things. Even now, you kind of bust out the cookbooks and like, oh wow, I've never used this before.
So you're walking along there and there's a stall for the, that very exotic and new to a lot of people fruit, cha-cha. Because I said to Helen on the stall, okay, how do you actually pronounce it properly? And she said, you have to think of the cha-cha dance and put an A in front of it. And she said it really helps if you actually do wiggle your hips at the same time. So you have to say, a cha-cha, like that. So, and she's right. I can now not forget how to pronounce a cha-cha.
So that's it. So finally, so it's our spuds, ricotta, a little bit of pecorino on top.
That looks beautiful.
Some olive oil, and I'll just finish it with a little bit of fresh basil.
I didn't see you put the potatoes on.
Yes, the potatoes are in the ricotta. You just sort of spoon them out, and they have got, they've still got, like they're not disintegrating. Like they're still like they're beautiful little things. You kind of like they really are rich. Wow, that's lovely. Yeah.
So 3 or 4 only
No, really
per
flavourful,
person.
but
That's going to be hard.
A bit of pepper.
Are you, perchance, coming back for the night market at Carriageworks?
Next Friday.
Yeah, Friday, Feb 9. Kylie Kwong has curated 60 different stalls that'll be here on the Friday night on Feb 9. And I think it's a $10 entrance fee. But the best thing about it is she's asked every single chef, and the roll call of the most amazing chefs coming, to work with native ingredients and to try to envisage what they think would be a great Australian dish. So I can't wait to see what that's going to be. I suppose you don't yet know what you're going to do you?
We're doing apple, so we're going to forage a load of coral greens and bits and pieces. We're going to do wallaby skewers, and then we've got another prawn dish with water seeds and pepperberries, and so it'll be a lot of fun. We've done a few events down here, and it's amazing at night. It's like kind of lit
so
up, and
beautiful. Yeah.
hopefully there won't be until 5 until they're cooking on coals, but it's nice. And again, it's lovely as a chef just walking through, just seeing what everyone else is up to and seeing what people are doing.
Some incredible ideas that I've read about, so we're all looking forward to that.
The dishes, so this is it. So I'll show you around, come and have a look. This is the bruschetta with potatoes cooked in seaweed and a Carriageworks farm salad. There you go, thank you very much.